Towers of Doom! Boys, this is going to be really, really good. Gunnars On, aka Dignatic. A bit of a Fnatic and Dignitas mix against the Hardos. So today they are here with their full lineup. I spoke about this on Wednesday. Now we have X-Cup Summer Qualifiers on Wednesdays and Sundays. And I let you guys know that on Wednesday they played with 2 subs. Whereas here on Sunday they have their full lineup ready. And it is a terrifying lineup. I mean, look at the names on the blue team. Mene, Breeze, Wooby, Smexy and Poik. All playing in the X-Cup Fall Qualifier. And they play against the Hardos in the semifinal. And this is just going to be good one way or another. Honestly, I have no idea who's going to win this. Currently, the Hardos are definitely the team that plays more and plays more as a unit. But just the amount of talent that you have on the blue team side is terrifying. Now, one way or another, this should be a good series, and it's just amazing to see the blue team with that particular formation. I can't wait for them to hit the playoffs. I guess we can all agree that both of the teams that we're watching here are going to make it into the playoffs if they participate in more tournaments. The big question is, of course, what's the seeding there? So in case that you're not really familiar with the format, the X-Cup Summer and in this case the X-Cup Fall are using the same system. We have a whole lot of qualification tournaments where the teams will gather points. Those points get accumulated and put into a leaderboard, and of course the top 8 then go to the playoffs. And as usual with seeding, the higher up you are in that leaderboard, the better your seeding position for the playoff bracket. Now, Jungle gets picked as a first pick. We have already Brightwing and Uther banned out. And it doesn't really shock me that the blue team, that they are the ones to ban out Brightwing Uther. Because Smexy has been showing a whole lot of different supports here. He's been playing with, in this case, Malfurion. We've seen him on Karazim with Tyrande. So he just bans out some of the full-on meta supports against the red team. And they go for a very, very good double whammy here. Poik on Tracer? Are you kidding me? That's already amazing. And then the Malfurion support behind it. They gave Junkrat over to Azu, but still, this is a fantastic start into the draft. And I'm pretty happy about that. Because Poik on Tracer is awesome. Really, really liking that. But okay, so we get Dehaka and Stukov as the follow-up, which means that we have globals for Towers of Doom on at least one side. You could still go into Falstad if you want to try and counteract that a bit. But again, you don't really have to. You need to be careful when you have a Dehaka against you, but you can also still go for Leo, Blaze, and just make the rotation between the top and the mid lane. Then again, you have to be careful once the Dehaka makes the move for the 5-man squad to try and get the numbers advantage in a fight. But yeah, Diablo gets banned out too. Obviously, we're still a bit curious to see what Breeze is going to pick at the front line. Could have totally seen him with a Diablo pick himself. Maybe Muradin. Garrosh, also another option, of course. Don't really think he's going to go for Stitches. Sometimes when you have that Malfurion pick early, Stitches is still pretty decent. And since targets that channel and altar are, like by definition, stationary, Stukov too, you might look at that Stitch and say, like, juicy pick. That's a juicy ban, by the way. No Space Goat for Wooby. But yeah, it's such an insane lineup. It is absolutely crazy. So, yeah. What are we getting here? Hogger for Wooby. And Breeze with Johanna. Yeah, that leaves only Mene. We might even see him pop out his Kel'Thas again at some point during these qualifiers. He always wants to play it when he can go for it, but yeah. How is the red team going to react? The Hardos, obviously, the team that has the experience here. They came in second in the last season. Actually, in Meta Madness too. They did very well there. And yeah, these guys are just super strong. Bad Benny, of course, our train conductor there. With Varian, he goes for it. Oldie but Goldie. Varian, Stukov, and Acacia behind it. They go for the sniper squad. And the last pick for Menes. We're waiting for a bit more damage to tick in on Towers of Doom. Our first map in the best of 3. The semi-final of qualification tournament number 3 for the X-Cup Fall season. That's a great setup. Great lineup. I love it. The compositions that we have on both sides. There's a lot of fun here. We have the Variant Taunt, Stukov with a follow-up on the Lurking Arm. The Haka can come in with a drag. And here comes the Mage Jaina, played by Mena. Boys, girls, let's get ready. Game number 1, Towers of Doom in the best of 3 series at the semifinal.
Prepare yourself for battle.
Gunnars On against the Hardos. So let's go. For the teams, or for the viewers that still haven't, by the way, caught on yet, Color Baguette, or however they were called, or Baguette, the Cold Baguette, the Chili Mountain, whatever they call themselves in qualifier number 1. It's the same team on the left side. So they just took Wooby and Smexy from Chili Mountain and renamed themselves into Gunnars On, which is a bit of a wordplay on Wooby's last name, and also the fact that Gunnars was sponsoring, I guess, Oxygen, and they, to what they told me, they kind of kidnapped Wooby or whatever they did there in CCL. I am not quite sure what exactly was going on there, but yeah, it's a little bit of a double joke that they have a bit of a double meme, and they were very fond of that, especially, of course, with it also matching Wooby's last name. But either way, now that we're heading into our game, Mene again trying to bring the Ice Queen back, so going straight for the Jaina damage here and hoping to get some damage points towards his trade, so well, his baseline quest, so he can play around that. Now, Tracer obviously has to be really careful of Varian once level 4 is hit. It's one of the main reasons why you're drafting Varian in a lineup like this. First of all, he's great for these sniper squads where you come in with the taunt and then you just simply drop Stukhov's lurking arm on it and try to blow the target away. But it even becomes more impactful if you can play him against Tracer. And here we already see the first result, even without taunt. Bad Benny comes in and gets the kill. Poik, nervous as usual, is getting killed. So Hardos with the first blood here, and now it's time for the pumpkins to fall. This is such an exciting one. I really like this one. This is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, either way, we got the stacks on level 1 for Cassia with the Thunderstroke. We got the low blow for Stukov, and Hogga with the On the Prowl. Jaina already getting attacked here a little bit, but Mena also gets the assist from the rest of the team. Smexy with the money pick, riding in style into battle. And Jojo has now taken towards the mid lane to secure the experience there, as the red team is looking for kills. Now Varian, he's going to go for the taunts. He's been practicing his one-liners all day long. I mean, you obviously have your... Oh, there we go already. And goes immediately for Jojo and bursts her down. Breeze is dead. And, yep, Bad Benny coming in, rushing onto Jojo. You look like a man in that armor. And bam, she is just super mad and tries to hit that flail hard onto Varian and gets blown away. Varian is trying out a little bit new material. The Your Mama jokes got a little bit old. But, of course, the oldies but goldies, they still work. I mean, who wouldn't get taunted and getting aggroed, you know, if you come in and straight off with Your Mama is so fat that Stitches can't even hook her. So yeah, whenever one of those comes out, I can't blame the targets for getting super aggressive and trying to take Varian down, but that oftentimes then leads to their demise. It's just what it is. Now, we got 2 kills to 0, so off to a good start for the Hardos, and especially that first engage around the taunt was pretty good. Yeah, well, up to the top. Poik, careful. They could lose that camp, and I think they will, because here comes the red team. Coming in with the big hits, and that is too much. That's way too much. The taunt against Hogga. That's an easy one. You stink is all that's needed there. And that's the end of the Fleabag. Shots are fired. Triple altar phase is up. First 4 are connecting. But the red team is going for the double as they go top left, top right. And they get both of them. So good on them. That's 8 points down the blue team's score. 3 kills to 0. That's a pretty good start for the Hardos. They got 2 out of the 3 altars, and on top of that they get the 3 kills. It's half a level of elite and experience, and an early level 7 of course for them too. So we'll see what they can do with that. Can they maybe snowball this a little bit harder? Camp is back up in 13. They might even try to invade it. Benny is sitting at the side, hoping for someone to walk across him so they can get the hit in with the taunt. But yeah, time will tell. So right now, we got a little bit of a bait down here. Nick, that old master beta, look at him. Just daring them. Go for me. Because he knows that he has a couple of people very close to him that could help out any moment. But yeah, it's all about Varian and his positioning, especially if Poik, as mentioned earlier, needs to be careful whenever Varian makes an appearance here. So, yeah, we'll see. There's the camp taken, so they didn't invade that, but they're trying to go for the Fleabag again! And there's the follow-up. No chance. Hogga is dead, and here comes the Haka. They want the drag, they get the drag. Bye-bye, Poik. He's down, and that is 5 kills to 0. I did not expect that. It's not really the start into the game that I expected. And I think I'm not only speaking for myself here when I say that this... and I pictured this to be a little bit different in the early game. But of course, this is Towers of Doom, so it's always a huge comeback map. But it seems like the experience of playing together for quite a long time is favoring the Hardos right now. And is really having a big impact here. The team in red is rotating around quickly. And all the way up at the top, Copenhagen, he is holding on to experience. They are half a level away from level 10. Yasu gets the channel, and that's another 4 shots fired. Bam! Straight out onto the core. They're gonna get level 10. And I suppose if you're already that far ahead, you're gonna try and get a little bit further ahead in this situation. Take down the minion wave. Look at that bait. They're not falling for it. Smexy and Mane, they're not falling for that. No. They're sitting there, but also talking about falling for the bait. Hello? Whoopi just got soloed. Copenhagen with the kill against Whoopi. Poik a bit too late. And this game isn't going well at all for Gunnars On. No. Smexy in trouble. Mane low. Both have to top the fountain. Level 10 abilities are helping a lot here. But this is starting to be a bit of a disaster for the blue team. He might lose Breeze again. There's the pressure play. And he gets his trade out and has to jump away with a falling sword. Or he would die. But there are some combos now at least available for Gunnars On. Because technically they can try and make a play around the shockwave into Ring of Frost. But yeah. Oh, the taunt before the wave! No way! Good Benny. Bad Benny turns into good Benny, and that kills the Fleabag. That was great, honestly. Hoggart trying to go for the shockwave, and then what happens? We have the taunt at the perfect moment in time, and the kill. Follow up on Malfurion, so he is dead as well. And oh boy, the Hardos! They are going for the big smackdown here. I mean, Gunnars On has a pretty solid combo with that Malfurion Tracer pick alone already, but they're just not making any headway here. Instead, we now have still an exchange in altars, or that's at least what you would expect, but that gap in experience is widening as we're looking at an entire level lead now for the Hardos. The Hardos, they're going hard on this one. They're going hard on the bot lane too. Shots are fired on the left, on the right, 32 to 24. And at the bottom of the map, that bell tower conversion. That is a shit ton of pumpkins. Oh my god. You know where it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A shit ton. So, yeah. 3 are left. And that could be 3 shots fired now too. Especially since level 13 is ready for them. But here comes Mane. He has the AoE. 1 shot goes through. And that's it. So they connected 1 pumpkin. Riptire. A little bit too trigger happy on that one. Hazu moved in, and yeah, got a bit of damage up here at the top. So, good for them. Now, here we go. 8 kills to 0. Benny still the one, trying to threaten Tracer if possible. And he's looking for that taunt. Yeah. Okay, up at the top. Poik. I'm a little bit afraid of them right now. Now, the late game, again, is what really matters on Towers of Doom. Obviously, if you're attempting to snowball and you pull that one off, that's fantastic. But still, keep in mind that there's always a chance that in the late game, a team that wipes is taking complete control of the map. Right now, there's just nothing that is really going for Gunnars On. They're talent behind, they lost the bell tower, they're way behind in points, haven't even gotten a single kill yet. But you still have that shockwave into Ring of Frost. And if that hits properly, you can really quickly kill 2-3 targets and change the game. And we've all seen insane combos with that in the past. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but there is at least the option. And that's all that you need in order to bring the game back. So that's pretty much what could happen if they get a chance here. It's 13 versus 13 now, and we have a double altar that's being played for. Junkrat is going down to the bottom of the map, which is pretty difficult to access for Gunnars On, because they have no control over the bell towers on the left and the right. Shockwave used, that didn't hit anything, and well, there's the hit on the Fleabag, and down they go. Quick taunt on Poik, fish and chips suck, and then Tracer is immediately aggroed. So there's the kill on Malfurion, guys. This is an absolute disaster now for Gunnars On. Yeah, they should maybe take the Gunnars off because they don't seem to be able to see the screen. There's another taunt, and we have 4 kills in just the last fight against the blue team. It is a 2-level lead, nearly level 16. There's still an altar on the map. They go for the camps. They take both of them. They can go for the channel here too. They could also have just taken the tower in the middle and then gone for it. But yeah, this is a full smackdown. Oh my god. Like, what the hell? The all-star team on the blue side is getting spanked. Absolutely spanked. So, 12 kills to 0. The full dozen over here. And yeah, that is a bit bonkers. Yeah, I don't even know what to say at this point. This is not what I expected. Not even a little bit. 2 more shots are fired. We're down to 11 now on the blue team score. Against 32, the level 16 talents make this even worse. Breeze is dead. The Ring of Fail, that didn't really do anything for them. And this is there's only 4 heroes for the red team down here because, well, Dehaka is still rotating around. Bell Tower in the middle doesn't look too good either. I'm a bit afraid to look at the damage. 22,000 for Cassia, alright. 21,000 for Junkrat. 16,000 for Tracer and for Jaina. Yeah, this is not going well. No. So they are getting a bit crushed here. There's another taunt in a second. He could. Nope. Misses it. I mean, doesn't really miss it. He tried to use it late because he knew that nobody was there to really help him get the kill confirmed if he goes in and leads with the taunt. So the decision was definitely the correct one, but it allowed us Tracer to get away. Now, there's a triple altar phase coming, and this could be the end of the game. We're only 11 minutes and 30 seconds in, but yes, this could very well be the end of game number 1 if they get all 3. I mean, even if they just get 2 and a few kills, they could go for the boss instead and end it there. The channel from Junkrat at the bottom is not going to be interrupted. They're attempting to make a play for Copenhagen here, but the rest of them is ready. He's looking for the shockwave. Shots are being fired. They're down to the single digits now with the 6 points, and the level 16 talent gives them still a lead. So they're zoning as best they can. They don't want to commit into the choke point too hard. But of course there's also pressure in the mid lane as they're trying to go for that bell tower. And Nick is getting some good damage in and forces Poik to rotate over to help out. But that aggroes Benny. Coming in, there's the taunt. Riptire, baby, and goodbye. Easy kill for the Hardos. They haven't lost a single area yet, and that's the first one to fall. Big report against Dehaka. Big reports against Copenhagen. He ruins the perfect game. Well, I guess it wouldn't have been perfect anyways because they lost a couple of points on their core. But still. 6 points. Go for the channel. Go for the boss. And it is over. Pumpkins at the bottom could also be attacked. Don't have to go for the boss. It's a 4 versus 4 on that fight. So not sure if they really want to take it. But it's a single point on the core right now. Mane gets attacked and is getting out. But eats a lot of damage in the process. And they go for Breeze, and if he dies, then boss is an option. Breeze is down, they go for Malfurion too. Nick is just chunking them down at this point. Absolutely chunking their hit points. And up towards the top, Poik taunted, attacked, and barely escapes. Down here in the middle, could be another bell tower that gets taken. Wooby is back, but, well, I guess he's gonna die again, isn't he? He's trying to get away here, and he dies. Veni, Vidi, BG. He came, he saw, and he died again. 17 kills to 1. Ladies, the Hardos with the big victory in game number 1. What a smackdown. Oh boy. Yeah, that was... wow. Quite the performance by the Hardos. Quite the start into the semi-final. And definitely not a good beginning of the series for Gunnars On, who lose the game with only a single kill in 14 minutes. GG, and well played by the red team.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Let's go! Game number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen. Guys, I don't know what to tell you, but the first game was a little bit of a spanking. The Hardos, they came out and they just said, you know what? We don't really care what kind of star power you have on the other team. We're going to show you that all that practice that we had over the last couple of months and years is going to outweigh that by quite a bit. And they did exactly that. Now, Tracer obviously had their fair share of trouble against the Varian combo. And this killer sniper comp that we've had in the past multiple times now for the Hardos worked really well for them. But it's time for Gunnars On to... yeah, try and bring that back a bit and show that this wasn't really reflective of what we can expect from them in the future, and that they're a little bit better than that. Now, as mentioned, this team just formed, right? You would expect them to play well together, since a lot of these guys have experience playing together in the past, but obviously are not quite on the same training level as the Hardos, but I still expected a bit more there. And Whoopi is opening the game up with an insta-pick in Urel, and that should help them already a little bit. It's still Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is one of the best maps for the Hardos, but I would expect this one to be a bit more competitive, let's put it like that. So here comes Brightwing for Yasuo. We have Nick already on an early Vala pick. But yeah, kinda excited to see what the blue team pulls off here. It was kind of funny because when the team formed, the Hardos, they looked also at the lineup, not today, but like a couple of days back, and they told some of the players, like, guys, can you please calm down a little bit with the amount of top players that you have on that team? It's just getting scary. But, well, they showed them in game number 1. Now, the strategy seems to be clear here, as we got Breeze on Muradin and Smex on Tyrande. They go for a good old Miranda setup, which is a little bit similar to what you're trying to accomplish with the Varian and Stukov. I mean, you can literally play Varian with Tyrande as well. The idea is the same. You start with a stun and you follow up with a sec, and you want to establish a CC chain. Stukov does that with his own lockdown, plus also the silence that he pitches in. But Tyrande can do a lot of work, and she has, of course, also the Hunter's thingy that she can use in order to... the Hunter's mark in order to help them to burst the target down. It's one of the reasons why back in the day Muradin and Tyrande were just an absolute staple and played together with Jaina, for example, any kind of burst damage they can use there. And talking about burst damage, a little bit of that is already eliminated as Chromie gets banned. So no Chromie today. Garrosh also banned out. Yeah, but I want to see Gunnars On to step it up a bit. Because I don't know if... I mean, if they're struggling like this here... we'll see. I still expect them to do well in the tournaments just in general. But it's going to be a bit spicy. Oh, and there's the Medivh Maiev combo. So we get a Medivh into the game for the shield. That really helps if you're trying to save a target that is about to be bursted by the other team. With that being said, Hazu's track record lately with completing the baseline quest is not necessarily the best. It feels like all of the Medivh players that have picked the hero lately were struggling once that they crossed 30 stacks on their baseline and all of a sudden died like flies. Lulnara from Poik, and there he is, Kelthas for a minute. Told you in the first draft you would see him eventually today. So yes, Kelthas gets picked, we get Lulnara together with that. It's a lot of annoying damage on the side of Gunnars On. But the last pick for Copen. Are they going to pick a main tank, or do they play that Maiev main tank style that we've seen from the Donuts and Lauba in the past? And Benny also played it a few times. But they could, of course, still swap heroes around to pick a main tank now. And they go for Leo instead. Tomb of the Spider Queen, everybody. Map number 2. The lead is there for the Hardos. Can they close it out with a 2-0? Or will Gunnars On bring it back and force map number 3? We're going to find out right now. Game number 2, Gunnars On against the Hardos. Breeze on Muradin, Smexia on Tyrande. They go for the combo. We got main on Kelthas for Gravity Lapse follow-up, Poik on Lulnara, and Whoopi on Urel, the Space Goat in action. On the right side of the map, Hazorps on Medivh. We get Yasuo on Brightwing, Bad Benny on Maiev, main tank Maiev again, Copenhagen Learake, and Nick on Vala. Yeah, we had that particular style already in the past. Successfully, I may add. Let's go. I'm ready. I want to see what the blue team can do here. Their combo is pretty clear. It's very... I mean, it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do. There's a lot of CC that they have on 3 of their heroes. They got a few slows and other things, obviously, on Lunara and on Urel as well. But the goal is to lock a target down, apply the Hunter's Mark, get the damage in, and take them apart. And the follow-ups have to be there from Smexy. And Tyrande, again, the problem with her is the same. If you can keep her alive, she's great. If she gets jumped on and is under pressure, then you have a problem. But that's where the stuns come in play, that's where Urel comes in play. And it's not a lot of players that have been able to fully use Tyrande these days in the current meta. Quite a few have tried, oftentimes it has failed, but there's a couple of teams that we've now seen with Tyrande a bit more regularly. And with decent-ish success. But again, it's always the same problem. If she gets ganked, if she gets attacked, she's very squishy, she doesn't have escape tools, so she needs someone else to properly peel for her, and that could be Urel. But with Medivh being played, there is of course a chance that that portal is going to appear on Tyrande out of nowhere. And if then Maiev goes through and starts the tether, then she can be in a lot of trouble. So Smexy has to really bring his A game here if he wants to survive in the later stages of the game. But yeah, time will tell how he's going to be able to do with this. Now, on the right side of the map, we have the camp taken. Obviously, Tyrande is also offering a bit more scouting information and interrupts against channels on the point. Let's not forget about that. Poik and Smexy doing the same thing here. But yeah, so now we got Copenhagen and Wooby locked in their 1 versus 1 at the bottom of the map. Bad Benny on the pleb horse. Trying to do this thing. And in the middle of the map, there's already the push happening with the first camp. But they're timing this pretty nicely so that the wall should actually be fine. Maybe a little bit late. The wall is actually getting attacked, but it still means that they get their own camp to help out with the defense. And then push. Here come the level 4. Paralyzing Rage is in. And they go for Wooby. And the Space Goat gets out. Wooby gets attacked. Uh-oh, but there's the tether. There's the Tyrande problem that we talked about. But he turns against Benny. And he tries to get away with the Vault of the Warden. Brightwing with the heals. Urel is dead to get the first kill. But that Benny is also in trouble. And no way. And he survives. They get 3 kills and he survives. Holy cow. Kel'Thas is dead and so is Lul Nara. Yep. The end of the Lulz. Seemed like the red team had the last laugh here. So 3 kills to 0 and this game pretty much opens like the first one ended. Yeah, I'm getting a bit concerned here. Maybe the future of Gunnars On is not as bright as we thought when we saw the lineup. It's a bit of a reality check that they currently get. And I can tell you at least a couple of players on that lineup, they're not going to be too happy about being murdered in 2 games in a row. So there's a remedy on this. That's called practice, getting some scrims in and some more play to shake all that rust off. But for now, at least, things are not really working out as they expected them to. And myself included. But okay, it's the early game. Let's maybe not jump ahead too much here and see what they can do. The camp at the bot lane was claimed and defended against. So on that end, everything's pretty fine. We have 28 gems turned in against the 45, so there's a clear advantage, of course, for Hazop's team. 11 stacks, by the way, for Medivh. So not really a whole lot now, right now. But let's see what else we're going to get here. We have in the middle of the map, Breeze just getting some additional gems in. He's sitting at 8. Gets the Storm Bolt out, but doesn't connect. Hits right in the middle between the two. Was a good dodge from them as well. And down to the bottom of the map, there's still a little 1 versus 1 setup between Wooby and Copenhagen. Now, there is of course a chance for both of the teams to now turn in and get the first Web Weaver wave, but the advantage in experience goes to the Hardos, and it leads to a small talent lead too, not for too long, as the blue team is also getting their talent. Give him the axe is in. We got the choking pollen. And, yep, the burnt flesh for Mene with his Kel'Thas. Salami, the pizza master. Shalanore. Yeah. Kel'Thas, he puts pineapple on his pizza. 100%. 100%. Not on the salami pizza, by the way. Nope. You do that with the other thingy. Alright, so they got the first Web Weaver wave. Now they got to try and make that with the ham. Pineapple and ham on the pizza. That definitely works. But yeah. So, this has to kind of hit hard. If you really want to take that game, the first Web Weaver is going to help you a lot with that, but you also need to make sure that you get some damage out here. And so far, they didn't really have a whole lot of luck. Granted, it was a fight or two, but here comes the Gravity Lapse, and they're trying to follow up on that. So there's the gate already disposed of. Top lane, Urel is still pressuring it. In the middle of the map, they're defending easily. But yeah, they're zoning them out with the Flame Strike for now, so the wall is at least gone. But can they get more? That's the big question. Can they drop a fort somewhere? Oh, good moves against Brightwing. But the Fruit Fly dodges out down to the bottom of the map. The stun position was actually nice. Was trying to hit that properly. And up towards the top. This is going to be an easy defense as well. So the walls are all falling, at least on the top and the bot lane. But the forts are more or less untouched. Yeah, more or less. Yeah, that counts. It's half the experience. The HP bar is gone. That's about it. But yeah. Now in the middle of the map, they still rotate a bit. It's level 10 that's going to hit soon for the Hardos, and they should be able to get the turn in thanks to that small lead in experience if they want it. If they turn in right now, there's very little the Gunnars On can do about it. They can use Smexy to interrupt once, but as you can see, Haas is providing the vision, Nick is turning in, and that gives them the turn in. They had a couple of the guys posturing down at the bottom turn in place too. So yeah, for Gunnars On it was nearly impossible to do anything about it. They need that level 10 for the defense, but that's that then. 14 stacks for Medivh. And, well, now we got the Shadowstalk in. We got the Ardent Defender. Lulnara probably with a Leaping Strike. And, of course, once again, the newly buffed Containment Disc with the additional Silence at the back end of it. Phoenix, no, Thornwood Vines. Alright, no Hoppity Hop from Poik, but instead the Thornwood Vines for the long poke. They're going for the first objective here in the middle, so the Web Weaver gets blown up very quickly using Phoenix 2. And topside, this is where they now set up for the second defense. Still quite a few of gems in their hands. Yeah, talking about gems in their hands, look at Bad Benny, 26. It's welcome here by Lunara, who's at 17,000 damage already. And down at the bottom of the map, Wooby with 21 against Copenhagen. The two side laners holding a lot of gems, of course, both of them. Maiev at the top is, I don't want to say in trouble, but she still needs to be a bit careful. Oh, and the tactical pause from Hazu. Yeah, not sure if anybody dropped here. Yeah, it seems like we have a drop on Copen. So, Leoric is still in play. Didn't die or anything, retreated immediately. But that, of course, is putting the brakes on the fight a little bit. As at the top, I mean, Medivh needs to get out of this one. It's all about the stacks again, and I think for Hazu it's not going to be a big problem. We have only Breeze here, and the ley line has just now been used. But can they follow up on the ley line? That's the question. But Benny is here, Yazu too. And I guess we're going to find out once that Copen is back in the game. Which is right now, and here we go. So, Medivh gets out, Bright being teleported in. Better safe than sorry. Don't want Hazu to lose the 16 stacks that he has. As I said during the draft, one of the problems that you oftentimes encounter is that Medivh players are struggling once they're passing the 30 to keep those stacks alive. And yeah, talking about stacks by the way, Mania's at 20, so he's actually done with his baseline for now. Gets the quest reward and can still stack this up a bit further, but that's already a really good starting point for him. Wooby with the 24 gems needs to get out here too. And we have Nick with 20 stacks on his arrow on level 1. Now, that's another thing to really keep an eye on. Puncturing arrow straight into the repeating arrow and the frost shot on top of it. So they got the slows in, and there's a lot of slows obviously with Leo part of the draft too that Vala can capitalize on with the extra damage that she gets from the arrows. So that's a lot of burst potential in the later stages of the game that we have from Nick. And as I keep saying, this is a hero that gets banned out in Korea over and over and over again. Europe doesn't really value her all that highly. The Hardos have lately begun to draft her more often. But she's still not a part of every single draft and oftentimes enters the draft in the later stages. Whereas in Korea, she gets banned out right away or instantly picked as a first pick. Now, both teams are aiming for the next turn, and both teams have enough gems to pull that off. We still haven't seen a single kill yet from Gunnars On. And we are already 9 minutes into the game. So, yeah. Definitely struggling a bit here. Blue team with another Web Weaver wave, so they get the second one. Sorry, about the second one for themselves. 27,000 damage for Lulnara. Mena's only at 3,800 damage on Kel'Thas. Damn, son. I mean, obviously, he did a lot more around the siege damage, as you can see. 97,000, so you perfectly well know where his damage went. But yeah, that's him just staying away from the team fights for a while. Now here comes the save. Nick gets out, and Hazu is dead, and so is Brightwing. Double kill. Talking about Mene. Here we go. He comes in with a big boy damage. No more stacks for Medivh. Lost roughly 20. And here comes the momentum. Straight through the middle of the map. The fort gets attacked. The one at the top lane likely gonna fall too. At the bottom of the map we see a similar picture, but Copenhagen is able to take at least the spiders down. He has 34 gems and the pings are there, and guys, he's dead. He is absolutely dead. No way he gets out. That's 34 gems down the drain. There is no way. He gets blown up. They were ganking up on him and you could see the pings. They fully knew that if they just cut his path of retreat off, he has no chance of escape. So that is 34 gems down the drain. All 3 forts eliminated. And this game just switched completely. Gunnars on, they were Gunnars off for a long time. And then after the 9 minutes mark, they went full online and were able to not only get a turn-in, but also multiple kills together with it. That led to several forts destroyed, and they took the opponent's gems away too. So they went for all of it. Yeah, they came in, they took their lunch money, they took their lunch as well, stole the girlfriend, opened the locker, cleaned it out, and then stuffed them into it. Full-on bully potential here from Gunnars On. And it was glorious. Now, the Tempered by Discipline is now ready. And of course, if you're the Hardos, then you still have a chance to fight back here. But you need to take some structures down. And, well, let's go. That would be a good one if they could go for Breeze, which isn't really happening. Okay. And, yep, at the same time, here comes the disc. They're trying to go for the kill. Oh, they cannot get it. And instead it's Mene again with the damage, and Breeze is just hammering away against the Brightwing. Stormball to the face, and goodbye Fruit Fly. Escapes through the portal and a quick blink heal. Nicely done. Still in the middle of the pack though, and this time Lunara ends the life of the Vermin. Copenhagen is also about to die. He's gonna drop to the damage over time, and they're not stopping there. It's a follow-up with the Gravity Lapse that is finally putting an end to Vala. So we have another 3 kills, 4 Gunnars On, and the map is wide open. Big push through the middle at this point with the camp. The team itself is not following on it, but the blue web weavers have now just been summoned and they go for boss all the way up at the top. This game is escalating quickly. Ignite after the Pyromaniac. We got the harsh Moonlight into the Empower. And boy, is this getting dangerous for the Hardos. It looked good at the start. 1-0 lead after the first map. An absolute spanking on Towers of Doom. And then opening the game up with 3 kills to their name. But at some point, Gunnars On just said nope and went in hard. Killed them. Now twice. Reset the stacks on Medivh. Took the gems away. And it's just going for an all-out blowout here. That's what they're currently trying to do. Yeah, Boss and Webweaver up at the top. Urel in the middle, escorting the Webweaver through to another keep, and at the top side the fight is about to start. The disc is out. I don't think that Breeze cares too much. He's totally safe here. In comes the play for Benny, and Maiev is already in trouble and can kiss her life goodbye. Literally explodes in front of the core, and just look at it. Brightwing is dead too. They're getting crushed here. They're getting absolutely crushed. They go for Leo. Urel is dead. I don't think it matters anymore. The boss and the web weavers, they still have plenty of hit points left to end the game here. The keep in the middle has now also fallen. Yeah, this escalated very, very quickly. Game over. Gunnars On with a victory in game number 2 against the Hardos as they successfully force the 3rd and final game of the best of 3 series here in the semifinal of X-Cup Fall Qualifier number 3. Bit of a sigh of relief. Not gonna lie here. I am happy that we're going to game number 3. If the Hardos would have spanked Gunnars on the second map too, I would have been a little bit concerned. So personally, I'm not only happy that we get a 3rd game out of this series, which I think is amazing, but also that Gunnars On is really just pushing this. They should. They have the lineup, they have the talent on their team to make that work. And again, on Wednesday, the tournament before, during the week, they had to rely on a couple of sub players. I would expect that's going to be the same case next Wednesday as well. These weekend tournaments seem to suit them a lot better with their personal schedule. So I guess we're going to have this particular 5-man lineup on the Sunday qualifiers. And then, of course, for the playoffs, which is the most important part. But here comes the ban on Whoopi's Urel. Shocked, right? I mean, who would have thought? So we get a ban on Junkrat, first of all, here in Infernal Shrines. We get a ban on Kerrigan and also Urel. But yeah, it is the final map in the best of 3 series here in the semi. And the winner moves on to face off against Team Wah in the grand final. And yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that too. Stukov gets banned, okay, so there's no sniper compositions here either. And what's going to be the first pick? Also, this is another map where you could play with Kalthas if you wanted to. And we go for an early Dehaka. Okay. Well, let's get Dehaka in. Now, it's going to be a pretty interesting one, especially from the perspective of what is Mane, for example, going to pick. Very curious to see that. Since he could play Kalthas again on this map. Doesn't have to. But if you want to go and follow up on any kind of CC chain with even more through a gravity lapse, he has the chance to do that. Now, for now, we have him on Tychus, but that can always be swapped over to Poik, of course. And this is Mephisto for the first time. Banned out against them several times, and even an Oriel picked together with that. Alright, Oriel, Mephisto plus Dehaka. And Nick is playing Mephisto more and more and more. This is not the first tournament where we see him play the hero. He played him a lot after the Chinese and Korea tournament. I mean, obviously, when we're talking about European Mephisto players, it's Maka that really shines. He's the OG that always believed in the hero and picked him, which resulted in many teams target banning Mephisto only against him. But now others have picked up the hero as a nice asset. And that was especially transparent after, as I mentioned, we had the Korea-China tournament. 6-7 weeks ago? But yeah. So Imperius gets banned too, and here's the Anubarak ban. Brightwing for Smexy, here in Infernal, and with Tychus you have Odin, the transformation around every single objective he can take. I want to know if Breeze picks Diablo. That's one. And I want to see what Poik picks. Because if he goes for Mage, then I'm pretty sure that they're going to have the swap between Mena and Poik. Yeah, it's Falstead and Stitches. Alright, so Gorge, Gust, and maybe even an Emerald Wind. I guess Brightwing could do it, but doesn't really have to. If you have Falstead for the Gust, then you can also just simply go for the Gust and don't need Emerald Wind here. The idea, of course, being that you're coming in with a hook, you're gorging the target, you're walking away, the opponent's team is trying to chase after you to save whoever got gorged. Falstead comes in, Gusts everybody out, and that's pretty much all you need to do to isolate the target further and then get the quick kill in. Lulnara and Leoric. So we have the Leo main tank this time, together with Dehaka at the side. Yeah, Leo, again, first of all, you can ghost away when Stitches is trying to go for the big gorge here. And also, it's not going to be all that hard for him to respawn once that he is killed. His trade makes it possible, and that's honestly one of the things that makes him very vulnerable on Infernal Shrines, because the battles for the objective oftentimes last quite long, and then Leo respawning on side is always great. But here comes Whoopi with the last pick, and he goes for ETC, so we even have now the power slide after the hook and or gorge. So guys, let's go. Game number 3. We have Gunnars On against the Hardos. The final map in the best of 3 series here of our semifinal at the 3rd qualifier of the X-Cup Fall. Game number 3. Gunnars On against the Hardos, the final map. And on the left side, we have Mene on Falstead. We got Whoopi on ETC for Gunnars On. Smexy on Brightwing, Breeze on Stitches. And Poik is playing Tychus. Right side of the map, the Hardos with Hazorps on Lulnara. We got Copenhagen on Dehaka. Bad Benny on Leo. Yasuo with Oriel this time. And we get Nick on Mephisto with the Skull Missile build right here. Now, obviously, a couple of things. First of all, we got the Guitar Hero here for Whoopi as the level 1 talent. But keep in mind that we have now a bit of global presence for both teams. But of course, with Falstead, you are expecting that Gust Gorge combination to come out and to be played here. So time will tell if they're executing this properly. But they also have quite a global presence with Falstead, Brightwing. I guess technically they could also go into an ETC stage dive. I think that's a bit less likely here. We have interrupts on the side of the Hardos for sure. that being one of them. But yeah, time will tell. For now, we still have the easy rotations between the lanes. The team's obviously waiting for the 1 minute mark when those camps are spawning. And then we'll see who locks in the third one. Benny already with the slow here. At this main tank Leo, a lot of the strategies that are being played by the Hardos right now are strats and plays that we've seen from particularly the Donuts in the past. And the Donuts make all of this shit work, which oftentimes is really impressive. So yeah, we've seen quite a bit of that. But at least on the second map, it didn't stand a chance against Gunnars On once that they started to get their kills in. And that happened very, very early. So Mena needs to be careful down at the bottom of the map, of course. If Hazu comes in with the extra damage, yeah, you need to be really, really cautious. But, well, for now, Breeze and his boys lock in the first camp, and it seems like they're giving up the one at the bottom, allowing the Hardos to get the third one for free. Can't really go for the Haka in the middle. Ken has got their own camp in a bit further, though. And Mena, of course, with the stacks here. Sitting at 9 stacks for now on the Gathering Storm. 8 stacks for the Skull Missile build for Nick. And Nick will have to deliver here. He was the one who never really could get his hero throughout the series because Mephisto was banned out most of the time. Now he finally had a chance. Gets supported by Urel here. Level 4 talents kicking in too. And Falstad with hammer gains, getting himself some extra sustain on that solo lane that he's probably going to play for quite some time. Yeah, Poik, sun's out, guns out, Tychus. Summer's over, baby. We're already in the fall season. You're 1 season too late. But yeah, time for the first objective. Going to be announced in another 5 seconds. We get the bigger they are here. A lot of the teams are dropping Master Assassin as a level 4 talent recently. Now, for those of you that don't watch every single game, especially in the Asian meta, Master Assassin is the go-to because of the passive auto attack increase that is incredibly powerful for Odin too. And it's pretty much the standard talent in Korea and in China. Very rarely do you see a deviation away from it. And Europe has adapted to that a lot. But over the last, I want to say 2 weeks, we've seen a lot of players go into the bigger they are again, let Master Assassin slide. So they're going to try and burn them down quickly here. But yes, the 11 stacks are in for the Hardos on Mephisto. And a bit of a moment of truth. Nice whip into the corner. Easy damage against Whoopi. Now they're trying to go for the Haka 2 in the middle. And Copenhagen, he should be able to escape here, especially since Lunara Bambi is now moving into Hoppity Hop. And as you can tell, the blue team seems to be giving up on the first objective. Now that is a play that is pretty common. If you get damage on the auxiliary lanes, and you get some damage in against those walls, then you can let the first objective go because you're pretty much just trading early damage as the opponent goes for the stacks on the shrines against damage that can be done by your opponent once they have the objective. So that's kind of the idea behind it. But right now, they haven't really done a whole lot. Now, they finally take that fountain down, which is great. Mena has to fly out now, too. Alright, he gets away. Brightwing is already moving up to the top. But that trade wasn't really worth it, honestly. The only thing that destroyed here is that fountain, and up at the top, they're suffering a whole lot more. They're going to lose the entire fort here. They might even lose a hero. Whoopi in trouble. And, yep, they want beef, and they're getting beef. ETC is dead. There's the jump. Leo dies, but he'll be back soon. And guess what? It's a follow-up kill on Breeze. It ain't easy being Breezy. Stitches is dead. The Punisher wanted to have a piece of the action. And he got it. 2 kills, 2-1. And another jump and another kill. Because Hazu is the whip master. I mean, we saw already... sorry, not Hazu. Yazu. Yazu, not Hazu. Way too similar here. Okay, so that's 3 kills to 1, and another decent start for the Hardos. They have one good start after another. It's just that the Tomb of the Spider Queen, the follow-up was missing a little bit. But yeah, they get the fort, and they get even damage in on the keep itself, which is kind of crazy for the first objective. 3 kills in total. There's a lot of value that they had out of it, and of course it's also reflected in the experience gain that has been gotten here. Level 10. You got level 10, and it is time to party. They also, in this case, have the Consume Souls over the Durance of Fate. By the way, Stitches with the Vile Cleaver on level 4 into the Putrefaction. A little bit of a different setup for him. Should be getting more damage out with that too. But of course misses out on some of the utility that is being brought. Are you picking into Tenderizer or whatnot? So that's another one. But yep, off we go. We got our push potential in the middle now. They already took the fountain down here, thanks to providing this camp a bit of vision. And they're starting to work on the gate too. With Lunara and all of the acid that she drops, they can definitely do that. And there's the combo. Gorge into Gust. Brightwing with the Blink Heal. ETC is going to wait for a bit more time. I would expect that ETC is actually going to wait for either level 13 or the next big fight before he makes a choice on level 10. Keep your opponent guessing. Are you playing with the global and trying to intercept the backline? Or are you instead going for the mosh pit, trying to pose another threat in the big battle? Don't want to give them a heads up on that decision, so they can wait for the next shrine fight. Or fight over a camp or whatever it is, if they want to. And I expect Wooby to do exactly that. Either way, we got in the middle of the map Mena and Wooby. They're still trying to push this out a bit further. Take that Khaldor camp down, for example. It's all about fountain control now too. Blue team has already lost 2. But down at the bottom of the map, the only team that doesn't have a fountain is the red team, the Hardos. This one was taken out early. It's the only lane that really got pressure. And that means no fallback option during the fight. No topping off your mana. No pre-tap. So yeah, little to do there. Leo is the only one that's fearless in the middle, but Benny doesn't even have to activate the Wraith Walk as Beast throws out the hook. He knows fully well that he's not going to be hit. But there's the objective announced. And of course the Hardos would love a level 13, but they're not getting it just now. Hoping for a kill here. I don't think they can get that. They're not even going for it. They just burn down the minion wave as best they can. Copenhagen might have to wait for another skill rotation before he can get rid of that. But ETC staying even stage dive. He has now the chance to turn the bottom fight into a 5 versus 4 for a short amount of time. But the Haka, he can of course burrow in too, which means then again that it's likely going to be a 5v5 whenever one of the two makes a move. But the level 13 talent is ready. And that was the more important part for the Hardos, that they get that. Yeah, that didn't really help. Here's the Gust, but no Gust Scorch combo. Priest gets attacked, and in comes the big damage. Even with the swing from Leo, wasn't needed. That's a kill. Oh my god, that's a second, isn't it? Yes, both of the frontliners are gone. Wooby and Breeze, they both die. 5 kills to 1. Level 13 talent advantage doing works for them in this battle, and the coordination also extremely solid for the Hardos. So that's an objective, a second objective for the red team, as they are claiming the Frozen Punisher, and I would expect them to not only take the fort but also open the keep up a little bit. They might be able to take the entire thing, but yeah. So Leo has to get out before he gets bursted down, but of course this fort has no chance. This poor fort doesn't stand a chance, not a prayer. Yeah, that thing is down before the Punisher is even below 80%. I think I'm lying, he's at 79. Yeah. Nitpickers. Okay, so they're going for the fort in the middle. They're letting this one go. Bot lane is going to be attacked, but yeah, Gunnars On needs to step it up a little bit. Alright, so let's see if they can maybe turn this, but for now they are on the receiving end of a beating in game number 3. And this would guarantee the Hardos a spot in the grand final if they take it here against Team against the Rubber Duckies. So, another camp taken. They're painting the map red. 1.5 level lead. Next goal is of course level 16, with which you then can make another big play for objective number 3. Yeah, 9.5 minutes in, and the advantage for the Hardos is pretty significant. So, damage output. We got 8,000 for false stat for the birdie. Mainly doing the side lane with all of the siege damage that he has. I mean, Falset is at 73,000 now on the side lane. So using all of his abilities mainly to do some siege damage here. One of the 2 players that hasn't died yet on the blue team. And, I mean, Leo has died for the Hardos, but let's be honest, he just activated his trade. Yeah. Let's see what this does. 56,000 on siege for the Haka. Top damage is 18,000 for Mephisto. 21,000 for Tychus, but yeah, not enough kills. So here's the level 16 talent, and that's another big power spike for them that they can use. And talking about power spikes, big whip, and goodbye. Wooby is down. Wooby got ganked. Great whip from Yasu, and the follow-up was there. It's an easy kill, has no chance to stage dive out of this one. The damage was on point at the right moment in time. They had the CC. But Leo, he dies. That Gorge was pretty good. Even against Leo, yeah, that was still a solid one. And of course, Leoric is going to be back very, very soon. At least back for the objective, but still counts. And it gets them closer to level 16, of course. Once that you have your 16 talents, at least you're fighting on an eye level again. And Breeze continues his build, under pressure. Okay. Goes for under pressure on level 13 now. And is close on hitting level 16 for the next one. And the objective is now at the top. No fountain, no fort for Gunnars On. Yep. And they're trying to take the camp here too. The Entomb blocking Breeze completely. He still goes for the Pulverize. The hook only hitting the doggy. And they are in an awkward spot here. This is not something you necessarily want to fight. Whoopi goes for the slide though. They take the battle. And he gets blown up immediately, doesn't he? Nope. He's able to jump out. But yeah, that was just a jump straight into sure death. The heals. But it's not enough. Nick still falls. And now Bad Benny is getting hooked and potentially killed. They hook the camp. But that's a double kill for Gunnars On. So they take it after all. Whoopi with a big stage dive. But yep, he died for the cause. Now the stage dive itself wasn't bad, but obviously the chances of him surviving that one didn't really, they weren't really too promising. Now it's still 31 seconds for Leo to come back and only 13 for ETC, but of course he's going to spawn right here once that he's back to business. And they are taking that lead. 11 stacks against 0, as is. Mephisto also back in another 8 seconds with ETC using the stage dive previously. He can't simply stage dive in. And he's moving down to the bottom of the map. 14 kills on the objective against 13 now. And Leo, but oh my god, Benny, careful. He nearly died again. I win a quick double kill against him. So, yep, now we go. 7 kills to 4. Damage output for Lunara is 21,000. Here's the stage dive, and he gets caught right away. But Brightwing helping out. There's the Gus. They create a bit of space for the rest of them. 29 to 23 stacks. Nick in trouble. The Aegis to save the day. And another big whip from Yasu. Great plays from Yasu here. Those support plays were insanely good. The whip and the Aegis save. And now, of course, they get 2 kills. They get 3 kills as Gunnars On is trying to int for the objective. And they don't even get that. They don't get the objective and they lose everyone. 5-man team wipe. And that's a keep, 100%, and it might be more. They might go for the core here. Towards the end, Gunnars On was trying to go for the objective. The whole goal was to move in and claim the Punisher, even if it costs you a hero or 2. But as you can tell here, it's gonna cost them very likely the game itself. Falset is back in 10 seconds and he will have his gust, so he can create a bit of space if they don't spread out properly. With this is a 2.5 level advantage and level 20 talents, and that Punisher alone is gonna wreck it. This is game, everybody. The Hardos, they move on to the grand final where they will play another best of 3 series against Team Wham! And Gunnars On drops down into the 3rd place decider of the 3rd qualifier for the X-Cup Fall. GG.